Somebody else.
Regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, July 20th, 2017 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on July 18th at 2:58 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. We have one counselor who is not in the chamber, but I know he's in the building, Counselor Dibble. Counselor Milo presided. Counselor Fury moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous minutes. All those in favor, all those opposed? I request that everybody rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Counselor Ryan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have one person signed up. Lisa Gilbreth?
How did it get passed? I don't know if I voted for it.
Hello, my name is Lisa Gilbreth. I'm here on behalf of National Grid with my colleague Dave Gendall. Are we taking the matters out of order, or should I sit back down? I signed up to speak on our matter.
This is an opportunity just for public testimony. If you want to speak on the matter, you can do it now. And then if there are questions when the matter comes up, we can always ask you questions too.
Well, you all might recall back in March, my colleague Marissa Pizzi was here to make a request for a special variance for National Grid to do some construction work on its property on March Street Court. We were approved for the Sunday work back in March, but our dates had to change due to outage availability. So we're back with an identical variance request now for the work which will now be conducted in September. I'm happy to take any questions now or when we take the matter up later.
When we take it up, public testimony, we just listen to you. Well, okay, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we take out of order on page 18 petitions, the second one down from the top.
Okay. All right.
We have a request from National Grid for a special variance request for work to be conducted on Sunday, September 24th, 2017. This variance was originally granted on March 9th for May 13th.
Councilor Formico?
Thank you, Madam President. With this particular matter, Lisa had been in great communication. She sent on the abutters list for it. It's a whiles out, she said they send it out to residents and send something closer to the date as well for this. The date of the work did get pushed out. It'd be the same conditions as before, notifying the residents, no work prior to 7 a.m., including like loud talking outside, whatever else. And then building Salem and everything, will put it online as well. But the entire time, she was great with communicating, providing the list of the abutters and the letter that they'll be sending out as well. So as it currently is, I don't have any concerns with this, just so long as we put out notice closer as well. And then we just might want to make sure the folks across the water as well, we can put it on their Facebook page, because as we all know, sounds carry some ways we don't necessarily think of.
So you're moving for approval?
I don't know if anyone else has any comments to make.
Okay, well, you can make your motion, we can discuss, right? Right. Any other questions, any discussion? No? Okay.
I move for approval.
Okay. On Councilor Formico's motion for approval, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I further move that we take out of order on page 11, on the mayor's informational page, the first item.
The mayor informing the city council of a request by Iberdrola working on footprint power plant project for extension of work hours per city ordinance section 22-25. City council approval is not required.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that it be received and placed on file.
On Councilor McCarthy's motion that this be received and placed on file, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Under discussion.
Councilor McCarthy. Oh, under discussion.
There is, as everyone's probably aware of, there's been a lengthy construction project going on down at at the power plant, and it's been challenging at times, is probably the most polite way to say it. It's been, and it's something we've been working with and trying to get done. It has, to give everyone a synopsis, about 5 weeks ago, we had a neighborhood meeting because Iberdrola, the contractor for Footprint, was requesting extending their hours for the second shift. 140 guys, second shift, working an additional 2 hours. And at that point, they also were incorporating, at that point, I believe, Sundays. And we had a lengthy meeting at St. Joseph's Hall with the neighbors. There was a lot of back and forth, more about some of the ongoing issues with regards to traffic, noise, and whatnot. It took Iberdrola about almost to the day, a month, to come back with, as the neighbors requested, a written proposal. As included is the proposal. We had a meeting just this past Tuesday? Tuesday before, or was it that? Maybe it was the Thursday before. I don't know. All the meetings kind of blended together. It was less than a week ago, and the neighbors that have been scrutinizing what's been going on down there and looking at it, they showed up, and Footprint came forth with a proposal, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, and with a map and with some incentives. Because they realize they're asking something above and beyond what has been permitted them by the Energy Facility Siting Board. The ask does not include Sundays, and it's for a limited period of time. And in doing so, Iberdrola and Footprint created a map of which kind of emanates out from the property, which includes incentives for owner-occupied residents of buildings that live on those streets that they've identified, with a incentive to allow them to. They will be sent a form. It's still trying to figure it out, but a form that will basically say that I verify that I live in this. I live at this address, and that I am going to take the monies that are coming towards me and do them to whatever home improvement they want. I mean, it could be anything. It's just their way of saying, okay, we realize that we've been I'm trying to be polite, nuisance, problem, challenge. I could think of a few other words, but I'm in council chambers. But it's their way of saying that, and they realize that specifically for these 2 hours for this next 5 to 6 week period is an ask. It's the summertime, but at the same time as I think from what went on in the first meeting a month ago, and some of what went on, and some of the changes in behavior with regards to some of that, and some of the step up in policing, Mr. Silverstein's line, they're not perfect, but they try to make it better when they are aware of stuff. They haven't been perfect. But the attitude out of the room on this past week was, let's let them do this for this 6-week period, an additional 2 hours, and with the idea that it was going to shave basically a month off the construction time of the project. It allows them to have this, and let's be specific, it's a shift of approximately 140 employees, 100 electricians and 40 pipe fitters that are going to work inside the building, pulling wires and welding pipes, in order to speed up the process, because what they're trying to do conflicts with what goes on during the day. Everybody wants the project done. And I think the sentiment was in the room from the people that attended, that were like, if it's for a fixed amount of time, for just a couple hours, and there's going to be safeguards in place, specifically now, because the ask doesn't include Sundays, much like we approve, the approval we just gave for the work on a Sunday for grid, that has to come to council, but because they're looking for an extended hours, it technically only has to go through the building inspector. I've had a conversation with Tom St. Pierre. It's actually, this is actually cleaner, because if there are issues and there are multiple complaints, because Tom is the issuing authority, Tom can pull it. Tom can pull their extended hours. And so we don't meet again until the second week in September. This approval period will be over before that happens. So Tom is, will be, after we have this discussion tonight, Tom will be sending me a letter basically stating that Iberdrola has asked for extended hours as per what's agreed upon, and we will be allowing them to move forward. The monies, once they come to the city, the city will implement the program in order to disperse them as per the map that Iberdrola put out. If there's any questions, Mr. Silverstein and members of Iberdrola are here, as well as I'd also like to waive the rules. I know there's a few neighbors that want to have a couple comments. If we can just allow that to happen. I mean...
Any objection? No, but I see Councilor Famico wants to say something.
Yeah. First thing is I'll just make a comment in the second part. Just the first thing as part of this, I just would like to have an assurance that the light timing is fixed. I had spoken with folks at Iberdrola prior to this. With my residents going home at the end of the day or in the evening, the light times for the red, green, orange, yellow, whatever color it is, lights, they get adjusted and then not adjusted back at the end of the day. So then what happens as a result is people at nighttime are waiting 5-10 minutes sometimes for the light to change, or have the smart signal, just to make sure that that's part of it, and I know it was discussed during the meeting. Second thing, although the letter reflects this, do you happen to know what the compensation level is for the folks on Blaney and White Street?
I believe that was the same as Carlton Street, which, if memory serves, was the purple area. I think was it 750? I can't. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't. But I believe it was the same as Carlton Street.
Councilor Famico.
Yes, so not my ward for that, but I will say I think that is very low for the folks there, because Blaney Street, the people that live there can see right onto the site. They're closer, in fact, than to some of the people that are along Ford Ave and Derby, especially for sounds and late at night parts. So to have it being the same as some people that are much farther away just seems a little off to me for that.
Again, I'll say what I said at the neighborhood meeting. It is by no means a perfect map. It is, I hope, better than earlier iterations of it, no matter where you draw the lines. And there's no magic to any of these lines. It was an attempt to, by Iberdrola and I helped, and the city had input to take what we heard from residents from different areas during the various meetings and trying to put them on a map and figure things out.
Right. I just know some of the people that live there I had heard from as well along the process and passed them along to the good counselor, but some of these folks, because of where they're living, didn't even know about some of these meetings because until after the fact. And contacted, they got on it after that meeting that you're adding it, but it just doesn't seem fair to me that people that are that close, much closer than some people along the way. Once again, not my ward, but I just think that they should be at the highest point for that.
There's a fixed pot of dollars available, and this was just another attempt to try to slice that pie up between the residents on various streets who've been all impacted, and still leave some aside for the city to do work on the park connections that'll interconnect ultimately Collins Cove to the landscape berm that we'll have on our site. So
if we have here's green, which is the highest most point, and then the part on the other side, so down near this box, that's where now is considered the same as these other streets, but as you can actually see, they're closer to the site. Just doesn't make sense financially or appropriations to me for that. that we're going closer and it's the same as going farther away. Yet if they were 10 feet away on the other street, they'd be at the highest.
There's no doubt that if you're at the edge of any line on that map, somebody who's on one
Right.
side versus the other, it's going to be different.
Right, but we're moving closer versus farther away.
Understood. I think the thinking on those was probably that the streets that Blaney in particular was, you're not seeing people cutting through Blaney to get to or from the site, where some of those other streets, what we had heard from residents was that they were being used as, or felt they were being used as cut-through streets, particularly Carlton, English and Allen and Cousins, trying to picture the map in my head as
Not
I'm
the cut through,
speaking.
but the sounds on the sites. But I know we don't have approval for that. I just would like it on the record that for that particular compensation, I am not in agreement for it.
Thank you. Council McCarthy, you mentioned there were some residents who wanted to speak.
Yep.
If we have any residents who'd like to come forward, we could have your name and address.
Yep.
Hello, my name's Steve Karen. I live at 1 Cousin Street. The issue here really isn't the nature of the work on the site. The nature of the work on the site is relatively quiet. It's not the work, it's the workers. I've had a bit of a health issue over the past few weeks and discovered that there's actually a group of, I think they're commissioning the plant. They leave around 1 in the morning. So if the extended hours come in, you're going to have well in excess of 100 cars leaving at midnight, and then another 100 cars leaving at 1 in the morning. And let's be clear, the noise from the plant is non-existent at night, but you're going to have over 200 loud cars, motorcycles driving up Webb Street right past my house in the middle of the night. This first shift starts coming in at 4 a.m. That gives us 2.5 hours of quiet. So if this does get approved, there's got to be some way to control the workers. There doesn't seem to be any way because it's been going on for 2.5 years. There's got to be some way so that they can leave quietly and leave us alone. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other residents who wanted to speak? Seeing none, on Council McCarthy's motion that this matter be received and placed on file?
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor Fury?
Madam President, fellow councilors, to dovetail on what Councilor McCarthy said, I think sometimes we need to reflect on who we are. And this is a good example of what Salem is, how resilient and resourceful, patient Salem is. This week, Salem has undergone many, many historical things. It had the largest, oldest Black History picnic down in Salem Willows. Amazing. It's a merging of the past, present, and the future, just in this very, very week. We live in exciting times, the Chinese proverb would say. We just celebrated a witch memorial this week on Proctor Street and Probe Street, and a dedication that was Proctor's Ledge that gave special grace to a very special people with respect and recognition. Then, later on, last evening at 7:30, a pat in the back to Salem. Chronicle, Channel 5, WCVB, did a half-hour presentation just on Salem. And it mentioned some beautiful things that we should not take for granted as we see this resiliency and resourcefulness of neighborhoods, patients undergoing change. They mentioned that Salem should have a fitting tribute tonight to culminate a busy and interesting days that we've had this last week. Salem is much more than Halloween. That Chronicle, 1/2 hour, was amazing. It gave me goosebumps because I was born and raised here in Salem. They reinforced our resiliency and resourcefulness that we did by having tonight. To reinvent ourselves from an old coal plant to a new plant, a gas-fired plant. A very interesting place all year round for Salem. And I mentioned in the half-hour program, we shouldn't forget, beautiful boutiques in Salem, privateer schooner called the Fame, tours of Salem Harbor, a walkable city of Salem for everyone to see and walk in. I mentioned a family-owned business, E.O. Pepper Candy Shop, from 1806, the oldest candy shop in the country, right here in Salem. 100 years of one family, the Birkinshaw family. And they're thinking about having a fifth generation keep that going. The Peabody Essex Museum, where I just came back from, where I worked tonight, came in late for a meeting, a world-class museum the Chronicle mentioned, the oldest active museum in the country, with a cruise ship exhibit that's world-class, a new expansion, and a brand-new George O'Keeffe art show coming later on this winter. Just down the street, a few steps, the Merchant Inn. 11 rooms of elegance, with the George Washington room, second to none, where he once slept. Salem Witch Museum, the House of Seven Gables, Salem Willows, with the Hobbs family, a great family. And lo and behold, in Salem's history, you shouldn't forget, the Ledger Restaurant that just opened up recently. Old Eastern Savings Bank, the oldest bank in the city of Salem, reinventing itself with elegant ceiling to fit Salem's new renaissance of fine dining in Salem. It takes dining in Salem to a new level. A new hotel in Salem is opening up very soon with a rooftop bar, a view of Salem's harbor, possibly even footprint. 44 rooms, we're in the mall. A little touch of the past, Hex, Old City Witches on Essex Street, not too far from here, encouraging healing and reflection. Spellbound tours of Salem, a walkable history, all 4 seasons. Charter Street Cemetery that's going to be being reinvented to celebrate our 325 years of history in Salem. And of all things, the oldest gas station in the city of Salem. The oldest gas station in the city of Salem, the Hard Cider Company, far from the tree, in the corner of Jefferson and Jackson Street. Salem's oldest gas station is now turning into something new, like footprint, as we speak. Tonight, we have an old-fashioned farmer's market down the street, only in Salem. As I walked down the streets of Salem in the busy downtown mall, Peabody Essex Museum had a fun family night. Families. Even tonight, as we speak, we're in the second oldest city hall in Salem, conducting democracy on the local level. So we have a lot to be appreciative of Salem, and lo and behold, look what's covering this oldest city hall as we speak. Technology Plus. Dustin and William over here covering the Salem, covering what's going on in Salem. It's amazing. The old, the new, the present. And we're lucky. We shouldn't forget that. And as I walked down the mall tonight, and I was late, I wanted to make sure that we don't forget who we are in Salem. And the resiliency and the resourcefulness. And I come in and congratulate Councilman McCarthy. I don't think Ward 1 could have a better leadership, patience. And Mr. Silverstein coming in to speak to us on a local level, making Salem a great, great city. So sometimes I think we need to stop and reflect on who we are in the city of Salem. The great past, the present, and the great future that Mr. Silverstein and many of us, and I think any of us in this room, could say something special about Salem. Any of you listening tonight. But let's not forget that, who we are as the city of Salem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. We're returning to the...
We return to the regular portion of the meeting?
Thank you. Hearings, none. Appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of John Andrews to serve as a member of the Salem Public Arts Commission with a term to expire July 20th, 2019.
Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. Held under the rules?
Councilor McCarthy moves that this be held under the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further appointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Jane O'Leary to serve as a member of the Salem Bicycle Advisory Committee with a term to expire July 20th, 2020.
Councilor Terrio.
Hey, Madam President, move this be held under the rules.
Councilor Terrio moves that this be held under the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Lisa K. Rosenthal to serve as a member of the Salem Renewable Energy Task Force with a term to expire July 20th, 2020.
Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that that it be held under the rules.
Councilor Dibble moves that this appointment be held under the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of David Knowlton to the position of Director of Public Services with a term to expire January 31st, 2019.
Counselor Sargent?
I believe it says held under the rules, but I believe we're going to move for approval of this one. No?
Suspend the rules?
I'd like to ask the suspension of the rules, please.
Okay. Counselor Sargent moves that we suspend the rules to bring this in. Seeing no objection? Counselor Sargent?
I would move approval.
Counselor Sargent moves for approval. Under discussion?
Discussion on, Dave has acted as city engineer for years and done a wonderful job, and this is basically an extension of that job. I don't think we can know him any better or know his character any better than we already know it, know how good he can do the job any better than we already know. So I don't think there's any reason for delay. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Fury?
Madam President, I totally agree with Councilor Sargent. He's the epitome and the essence of public service. We couldn't ask for a better person to handle this very challenging department in these challenging, interesting times that we live in. The big dig going on, it's amazing. Salem's big dig. And after this big dig is all over with, hopefully things will be better. But we couldn't ask him to be in better hands, Dave. Thank you very much for serving us so well. Thank you.
Counselor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. I've had the pleasure of working with and knowing David for quite a few years now, and I don't know, I'm not going to reveal any of my secrets, but I know the way to get a hold of him. When some people say I can't ever get a hold of Dave, I know exactly what time you need to call Dave, and Dave's always been very, and I'm only joking about that, but Dave's always been very responsive, and I just want to say that he's been wearing dual hats. He's really taken a grip of what's been going on down there, and I think the city is well served by David's service, and I wholeheartedly support his appointment to this position. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. On the matter of the appointment of David Knowlton to the position of the Director of Public Services, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The appointment carries. Counselor Dibble?
Yes, Madam President, I move to suspend the rules to allow our DPW Director to speak if he so chooses.
Seeing no objection, Mr. Knowlton?
Good evening. Just want to thank you very much for your support and the mayor's support. A lot of good work that we're doing, a lot of good work to be done, and I'll be working very hard for you. So thank you again very much.
Thank you. Okay, communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $539,801.90 from fund balance free cash account to retirement stabilization fund.
Counselor Durant?
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Counselor Durant?
Thank you again. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is actually routine end-of-year transfer. This is to seed both the funds, the free cash account, the free cash fund, as well as the stabilization fund, and we need to get these done tonight. For those of you who noticed on our monthly financial reports that here under free cash, there's actually nothing written there because we have to do this in order to close out the account and start it again.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, under Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation for $203,050.70 from the Retirement Stabilization Fund to Vacation Sick Leave Buyback Account for the retirement of school department employees.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you again. I also move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is, again, this is a routine matter. This is part of the contracts. Very sorry to see these fantastic school employees go, but we have to give them their vacation buyback time, and so we wish them all the best in their retirement.
Any Other discussion, further discussion? Seeing none, under Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $90,000 from Stabilization Fund 8301 account to the Police Department full-time salaries for fiscal year 2018 contractual increases for police superiors.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for a suspension of the rules. Being it slow to give Councilor Ryan time to get out. You walked out?
Door's locked, can't leave.
Seeing no objection, Councilor
Thank you, Madam
Gerard.
President. I also move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is part of the contract settlements that this contract was just settled, and we are hoping to fund these retro payments quickly. So these need to be done tonight, please.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further communications from the
We
mayor.
have an appropriation of $30,000 from receipts reserve sale of vaults to receipts reserve sale of lots to receipts reserve sale of vaults and to Department Public Services burial account.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for a suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you again, Madam President. I move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is also routine matter. This is just to pay for, purchase the burial boxes for Green Lawn for our cemeteries. And so this needs to get done.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order per Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 64, allows a municipality to pay for prior fiscal year invoices using current fiscal year appropriations by a two-thirds vote of the City Council for public property to pay Peabody Block LLC RCG rent and tax invoices in the amount of $15,500.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for a suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you. I move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is actually to pay the taxes for the rent on 120 Washington Street. This was a point of contention for a while between the city and RCG, and they have just worked this out, and so this is the amount. And this is something that has been paid before, and so asking for the opportunity to pay it out.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Lovely?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Pamico?
Yes.
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Dibble?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 64, paying invoices using current FY appropriations for past fiscal year invoices, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a transfer of $8,615.12 from public property full-time salary account to public property contracted services account.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Seeing no objection, Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Actually, I just want to take a moment to remember Harry Wagg, who was in the building inspector's department, that he passed away this past week, and part of the need for this is that the plumbing inspector, Dennis Ross, is out, and so they're actually going to have my neighbor, George O'Connell, cover for the plumbing inspector, and so this is just covering all the bases because of Dennis being out and because of Harry's untimely passing.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept donations from the Friends of the Council on Aging in the amount of $4,050 to the Council on Aging Donation Fund.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Just briefly want to thank the folks who have donated to the Friends of the Council on Aging. That the donation is greatly appreciated, and this is actually going to go towards some new, basically like people trackers that are going to see how many rides they're getting, that it's going to be an improved system so that they can really track who needs the rides, where they need the rides, and so this will hopefully increase the services for the folks who use the Council on Aging vans.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept gifts made for the improvements to Proctor's Ledge totaling in the amount of $3,098.14.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be adopted.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. We had a very powerful ceremony this past, I think it was yesterday, at Proctor's Ledge, remembering 5 of the women who were, unfortunately, that were hung at Proctor's Ledge. And there is a whole list in our packet of the people who have donated, and we can't thank them enough that the memorial actually is absolutely stunning, and if people can get a chance to go by it, they absolutely should go look at it. And I don't know if the Ward 4 councilor wants to speak to it. Since it's in his ward, I would like to allow for him to speak as well.
Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to the A&F Committee Chair and Ward 6 Councilor. The ceremony yesterday was very poignant and was very dignified, too. One of the things that was a concern of mine when the announcement was made that Proctor's Ledge was the location of where the 19 individuals were killed, I had a concern for the neighbors in the area as to, well, what does that mean for the neighborhood? What does that mean, you know, and I'm very pleased with the memorial that has taken place. It's very tastefully done. If you've not been there, you should go down Pope Street. That's where it's located. In addition to thanking the donors, which there's a great list here of good folks throughout the city, I also want to thank a group of volunteers who helped clean up the area prior to the dedication ceremony. They worked on that this past weekend. There was a good 20 of us that were part of it, and Walgreens. It's not all the time that I'll thank a large corporation, but the staff, the management team really stepped up, and they provided not only donated materials for the cleanup, but they also provided 5 people to help of the 20 of us who were working on that site. Not just, and also along the way there on Pope Street, there was some overgrowth that we helped clear out. So anyway, thank you again to the Ward 6 councilor and to the administration for a very tasteful memorial.
Council McCarthy.
Are we all set with that, ma'am?
I thought you were going to contribute to the discussion, no? Oh, okay. All right. On Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Excuse me. Councilor McCarthy.
Could I have 1 second of personal privilege? I'm going to embarrass her, because that was the last financial matter we're dealing with tonight. As many of you know, our finance director is leaving us, and she's in chambers tonight. And by the time we meet again, we will no longer be seeing her because she will be gone. And I just want to publicly thank Sarah for all her work and efforts on behalf of the city. I had the pleasure of being the finance chair 1 year while she was here, and she was always available, always had, if she didn't know the answer, she always found it. And I think it's a lot of us who have served on the council for a long time that were here when Rich Fisquet was here, and then we're a little leery of Sarah coming in and filling Rich's shoes, because Rich then had taken a budget that, you know, when I first got here 10 years ago, it's light in day compared to the budget from 10 years ago to what you see today. And Sarah has taken the ball from Rich and his team and enhanced it and even made it better, if I couldn't even believe it. And I just want to publicly thank her and wish her all the best in her endeavors. I've jokingly said that Rich and I are going to have to show up at a budget hearing in Cambridge just to, you know, throw a few curveballs at her and ask a few questions just to make sure she's still on top of her game. But I know she's going to do great, and I just want to publicly thank her for her service, because she was a valuable asset to the city, and she's sorely going to be missed.
Thank you. Councilor Epley.
Thank you. I just want to add, as a former A&F chair and having served on the A&F committee for 3 years prior to this year, any question that I had, Sarah would answer. She's a She's someone who you try really hard to get more money for particular items, and she holds the line. That's her job. I wish that I could have gotten more money for various projects, but I know for the taxpayers of the city that that's the best advice. And Sarah was always there and very professional in her very kind way of saying no. But aside from that, I did tell her that we used to live in Cambridge a few years ago, and Cambridge definitely is gaining a huge asset in Sarah joining their team, and it's a loss for Salem, but all the best.
Councilor Fury, Councilor Terrio.
Yes, please. My 20 years on the city council. This is amazing. The budget you do, the budget. It's amazing. It's very transparent. It's very open. Capital outlay programs, monthly programs. And it's public service at its highest calling. Salem's deep loss, our deep loss. Cambridge's great gain. And as you walk up into Sarah's office, you see the awards and the presentations of the work and effort that Rich did over the years. You follow through. It makes government at the local level, where the rubber hits the wheel. You can go right to this and find out X, Y, Z, whatever you want to know. It's online for viewers to see. It's amazing. Sarah, a deep loss for all of us. Thank you very much for serving us.
Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll echo a lot of this. I've been on, this is my 6th year on the city council, so I've been here with Sarah's predecessor and with Sarah now. I was finance chair for 2 years with her in this position, and I'll echo everything that's been said about the skill of her work, her ability to answer questions, her ability to be on top of things, and to get things done. It's unparalleled. We're going to have a tough time replacing her. Then again, I thought we were going to have a tough time replacing Rich, and then we upgraded, so, and I hope he's listening. And, the only bright side of this is I don't see how we're going to get better, but hopefully we can take it even farther, but I think it's going to be really, really tough to do that, but at least you still live here in Salem, and so, we'll still have you around. We just can't ask you about the budget anymore.
Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. As the current ANF chair, and where Sarah has been the only budget or finance director that I have worked under, all I can say is Viscay who? But really, thank you so much for your years, for your counsel, for everything that you've done to help me to understand the budget, to get me excited about the budget. And this is all I ever want to talk about now. So this is your fault that I annoy people. So anyway, thank you, and I wish you all the best in Cambridge.
Thank you. And Councilor McCarthy.
If there's no other comments, since we've all embarrassed her, I'd like to waive the rules and allow her, if she wants to say take a few parting shots at us before she walks out of the room, if that's okay.
Oh, she looks like she is.
No. Thank you, all of you. It's so nice. It's hard to live here. I'm home here, so it's hard. It's a big change. I'm excited. There's a certain irony, right? I moved from Cambridge up here, and now I'm a Ward 1 resident, taxpayer, and now I'm going back to Cambridge, so it's hard. It's a big change, but I'm excited, and I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed working with each of you, and that you cut me some slack when I wasn't Rich Viscay out of the gate. Not as loud, but still here. And I just appreciate the collaboration that we had throughout the time, especially for those that served as ANF chair. I spent more time with many of you than I did with members of my own family for many months of the year. So thank you very much. And I've loved working here. It's been a really great experience. So thank you so very much for the kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a home rule petition for the conversion of 2 seasonal all-alcohol liquor licenses to be drunk on the premises to 2 annual licenses for Brothers Tavern located at 283 Derby Street and Mercy Tavern located at 142-148 Derby Street.
Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Councilor Ryan moves for adoption by roll call vote. Under discussion.
I don't have any issues. I don't know if the other councils do. Since it's the last meeting till September, I figured we'll move this along. If you have questions, you can ask them now. Otherwise, I don't have a problem with it.
Any, Counselor Famiko?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd be okay with moving forward with Mercy Tavern. I would like to see Brothers Tavern go into committee, though. Just in general, when we're looking right now, we have the seasonal, which just shuts it down, but just to have a discussion in general with that particular location.
Is that a motion? Counselor Epley, Counselor McCarthy.
I'm for approval for both. I think both restaurants have been very responsible stewards with their alcohol licenses. They're both vital parts of the respective areas. Actually, both on Derby Street, come to think of it. You couldn't ask for better folks. So I would hope that we get this passed tonight.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I, too, will be in favor of sending both of these petitions along. Mercy Tavern is taken over from the Pig. Unfortunately, Mercy Tavern had every intention of buying the liquor license from the Pig, but there was so many issues with with the license and whatnot, so that wasn't an option. Mr. Schultz and his crew have been in there. They, from all accounts, are doing a fine job, and I wholeheartedly support that. And as far as Brothers goes, I mean, Brothers is, they're right down in the heart of it, and I haven't heard any complaints from the licensing board with relative to them, so I have no problem with either one of these petitions.
Any further discussion? Counselor Famiko.
Just through you, maybe the Ward 1 counselor has an answer for this. Just wondering with that location, how does it work with full liquor licenses and then the club nights that take place with 18 plus? Does anyone have an idea? Because like usually bars that have I don't know, is it to make a difference?
Counselor McCarthy.
I mean, I can't speak for the petitioner, but they were obviously looking to change, amend the way they do business, extend the way they do business. So, I mean, if they're going to change that, I'm assuming they're going to change whatever that the good Ward 2 council is referring to. And if they do, I mean, it's all subject to licensing board approval. So, I mean, that's outside of our jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction is whether or not we send forth a petition up to the state. So I have no problem sending forth a petition up to the state.
Any further discussion?
Just got a question.
Counselor Sargent.
Just one question is, what's going on with the Pig's Eye license, and where's that going to be when, to you, Madam President, where's that going to be? It's going to be an extra license. Should we approve this one, right? So there'll be another license out there that's
Counselor McCarthy.
not a home rule petition.
I will be more than happy to talk with the at-large counsel outside of chambers. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the license, a lot of personal stuff with the license. I don't think I want to. I mean, that I've heard, which is secondhand. I mean, but I will be more than happy to talk to the good at-large counsel outside. I also want to know is that the license is not available, and from my understanding, it's going to be reverted and sent back. And I'll leave it at that, and I will be more than willing to talk to the at-large counsel afterwards. I'll just leave it at that. It's not available. It was available. There was too many legalities wrapped around it, so it was, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Any further? Counselor Sargent, did you have it? Counselor Fury.
Madam President, a liquor license is the lifeline and the lifeblood of any restaurant like this. Whether it's Jordan Ray's coming up, Pam Post coming up, it's the lifeline and lifeblood. And I think we ought to encourage them for staying in Salem, reinvesting in Salem, and this is their access to better business. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
No.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of home rule petition, conversion of two seasonal licenses, excuse me. For Brothers Taverna in Mercy Tavern, we have 11 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a home rule petition for an additional liquor license for Castle Hill Mini Mart located at 280 Jefferson Avenue to sell wine and malt beverages not to be drunk on the premises.
Council Ryan.
Move for adoption by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
On discussion, we've already actually passed this beginning of the year, I think, and then the mayor didn't sign it, so it got sent back, I believe, so we have to do it again.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
No.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famiko?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of the home rule petition for Castle Hill Mini Mart, we have 11 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The matter carries. Counselor
Immediate
Lovely.
reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
On Counselor Lovely's motion for reconsideration, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Matter does not carry. Counselor Lovely.
It's a point of personal privilege. While I appreciate this coming forward this evening, I want to give you a little bit of history because I'm very disappointed in the previous matter and what's happened to it. This is a small little grocery store of which I do not do any business in. It's right around the corner from me, but having 3 women in our household, I don't do much shopping, thankfully. But this woman is an immigrant, invested a lot of money, got taken by some contractors, called me up and asked to get some parking relief because people were parking all day. Previously, there had been some limited parking for Palms Variety, which had a similar beer and wine license. It was a grocery store and also had a beer and wine license. I got the parking through the council, thank you to the council, and then she asked about a beer and wine license. I explained to her what the circumstances would be and that I'd be willing to call downtown to see what I could do. I called the city solicitor. She was very, very helpful, put this together, and with the help of the council, I got this passed. I don't know when it was passed. It was early spring. This, seems to me that business isn't that good. I haven't stopped in there, spoken to her over the telephone. With her asking me, how did things go? I said, it went through the council. The council was very supportive. We're going to send it on to the State House and have it approved. I kept in contact with the state senators, you might imagine, who kept it alive. It had to be brought in on the House side because that's how it works up there. And I kept asking, what's going on? And come to find out that the mayor decided that, for her personal reasons, that she wasn't going to sign it. I had some research done, thank you to the city clerk's office. I don't want to put them in the middle, but they were kind enough. While the mayor's been in office, there's been over 16, not counting the last 2 years, home rule petitions that have gone before this council. She signed every one of them. Why didn't she sign this one? I have my opinion, you draw your own conclusions. But I was very, very disappointed because I know the city clerk thought that perhaps it was an error. She sent it back up and the mayor adamantly said, I wasn't there, so I shouldn't say adamantly said that, no, that's no error, I'm not signing it. I didn't get a telephone call. So for several months, up at the State House, we were trying to get this resolved. So apparently, and I've had my differences with the mayor relative to certain policy issues, the fact that she would, use this to punish me, to punish a woman trying to run a business, not pick up the phone and call and say, Steve, what's going on? Who is this person? I called and asked her after I found out that the legislature, and she well knows that her signature has to be on it. She well knows that. And I called the city solicitor. She works for the mayor. I didn't get any direct response, nor should I expect one. But I'm very, very disappointed that the argument was that she didn't know she had to sign it, although she signed every other one that went forward, and that she didn't know the person and felt that this has not been said to me directly, but it's not the council's prerogative to bring things like this into the council. Again, I never saw any scintilla of any issue with the city solicitor. She drafted it. We sent it in. The mayor knew full well, I feel, to either tell the council that I'm the one who runs the show here, or more specifically, Steve Lovely's not going to get anything because Steve Lovely isn't a team player. I find myself as a team player. The fact that I don't agree with everything the mayor does shouldn't punish a poor woman like this trying to run a business. I'm very, very disappointed. I could be a lot more specific about how I feel. I'm hoping that this will never happen again to any other councilor, to feel that they must toe a certain line in order to get things done for their constituents. I'm very, very disappointed, and I felt that I needed to bring that forward. I appreciate your support on this for the second time. Thank you.
Further communications from the mayor.
We have a home rule petition for the conversion of a liquor license for the sale of wine and malt beverages not to be drunk on the premises to a license for sale of all alcoholic beverages not to be drunk on the premises for Pamplemousse Inc., located at 185 to 189 Essex Street.
Counselor Ryan.
I move for adoption by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
I don't have any discussion. We're doing the other one. Might as well do this.
Counselor Famico?
Yeah, just like to add on to this, I live across the street, I talked to some of the business owners. Pamplemousse is making it, they sell things like margarita mix, but you can't get your tequila there. They're looking for higher level alcohol, and later on I said to them, would they agree not to sell nips? And I had asked the city solicitor prior about that a few months ago when I thought that other license was dealing with alcohol, and she had said that the ABCC executive director had said that other towns have done that when they're new licenses. The licensing board, so not us, can make it a condition that you can't sell nips as part of it. So if we're looking downtown, I know Fireballs of Salem might have a few less nips as a result, but just later on when it comes back to the licensing board, it'd be great to see them do that. But the other businesses in the area, full support. They said they've sold beer and wine, no problems. And this will make it so you can actually have your cocktails with the mixers that they have there as well.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of a home rule petition, conversion of liquor license for Pamplemousse, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a home rule petition for an additional liquor license for the sale of wine and malt beverages to be drunk on the premises for Dottie and Ray's LLC located at 112 North Street.
Counselor Ryan.
Move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
This business has been there for probably longer than I can imagine. It's been there forever. And with the closing of Leslie's Retreat a couple of years ago, Ward 6 doesn't really have anything, so I don't have a problem with it.
Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd also like to point out that Dottie and Ray's has new ownership, and so I support this, and I hope that they do well in their new venture as owners of a great establishment.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
No.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico? Yes. Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Dibble?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of a home rule petition for additional liquor license for Dot and Ray's located on 112 North Street. We have 11 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The matter carries. Mayor's informational page.
With the mayor informing the city council of her appointments to the Salem Cultural Council, no city council confirmation is required.
Counselor Sargent.
Move receive and place on file, please.
Any discussion? No discussion?
Not for me.
Okay. Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. If I may, through you, I'm just curious, what's the impetus for this and why the request? The Cultural Council, like with other boards and commissions, the members are listed. I did notice that in our packet, we did get a list of all the newer members who have been appointed, but I'm just for clarification.
You would have to ask the mayor. I've been asked to move this be received and placed on file. I don't have any idea who's been appointed, so that's my motion.
Counselor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I think just to clarify this, because this is informational, and this is because of, I think the assignment was due to the at-large counselors chairing the Government Services Committee, so I looked at this. I know several of the people have been appointed, and I'll say, for the record, that it's good that we've I looked at who was on this before, the people, so we're adding a group of people to this. I think this will actually help this particular group do work, so.
Any further discussion on Counselor Ryan's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motions, orders, and resolutions. Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mayor President. City of Salem in the year 2017, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to traffic, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time. Derby Street in front of number 85. Derby Street, 20 feet northeast of Blaney Street, and continuing for 20 feet, handicap parking only tow zone. This ordinance shall take effect by city charter.
Move for adoption.
Move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. The request came in, it was forwarded off to Lieutenant Brzezowski. He went out and surveyed the situation, measured the street, and agreed with a spot that seemed to work. It's actually on that end of part of Derby Street. It's actually across the street, so because there's no parking directly in front of their residence. But this was they met all the he checked all the criteria, and this was his recommendation, so I move for approval.
Any further discussion? Counselor Ripley.
Thank you, Madam President. This is just a question, actually, to the Ward 1 Council. It's not about this particular handicap spot, but just Blaney Street in general. That is such a should we think about, and I'm not saying it's for discussion tonight, but should we think about at some point maybe making that no parking either side? Just because of when you have people trying to come in and out of Blaney Street onto Derby, it's a bear.
Specifically, this request is for the parking spaces on Derby Street. It references Blaney Street as a reference. It's not on Blaney. But Blaney is something I've had a few neighbors have requested that they look at. I have the Traffic Commission looking at that. At a minimum, maybe one spot off the corner, try to help that turn in there. I'm leaving it to the commission to come up with a recommendation. But specifically, this handicap spot is for Derby Street. It just references Blaney Street as a point.
That triggered my.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor McCarthy's motion for adoption for first passage. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Famico.
City of Salem in the year 2017, an ordinance to repeal an ordinance relative to traffic. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Repeal Northeast Street in front of number 12 Northeast Street for a distance of 20 feet, handicap parking only, tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by City Charter.
Move for adoption.
Move for adoption.
Under discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Famico's motion for adoption for first passage. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. Before I do this, I have two actions on this, but only one of them is in the agenda correctly as printed. I have the repeal of one handicap space and then the approval of another one. So I just want to check procedurally how to go with this, because I think it was submitted properly and didn't hit the agenda due to probably Scrivener's error. So
which
The one that's the repeal of Wisteria Street, the one that's, which is actually what this is. There's a typo here as well. The repeal on Wisteria Street is properly in here. The creation of the new one on Naples Road is not.
So you want to amend that when we get to it?
I guess I could amend it to this to put both actions in there, or I'd ask the city clerk for just how to proceed on this.
One more time?
I have properly in here, although there's a typo in it as on the agenda. The repeal of Wisteria Street is in here correctly, but I also have the order for the ordinance for creating the new handicap space on Naples Road.
Either one.
Is the order right?
Same residence, it's not in the agenda, although I got the order correctly in my packet. But the order was not printed in, at least not in my copy here, so.
Can I just look at it for a minute?
Councilor Frico's order is listed twice.
Yeah.
Counselor Famico's order is listed.
Second time with my name.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, just correct it. If you have it correct, just read it correctly and we'll correct the agenda.
Yeah, but then also for the second order, which is not in here. The ordinance change to create the new handicap space on Naples Road is not in here.
That one will probably have to wait, because, well,
It was filed correctly.
it was filed correctly.
It was
But it
filed
didn't go
correctly.
on the agenda, though.
So I'd have to ask for a waiver of the rules to allow it to come before us.
It's not the rules that are the problem, it's more the sunshine ordinance, because it wasn't on the agenda. So it probably should wait till the next meeting to take them up, because they weren't on here correctly. It wasn't posted.
The one that wasn't put in is the adding of the new handicap space, which is actually the one that's probably more of a concern for the residents, so.
Beg for forgiveness. If you go for it and someone complains because it wasn't on the agenda.
I'll take the bullet for that one if somebody complains, so.
Counselor Epley?
Perhaps we could approve it this evening, and then we also place it on the agenda for the September meeting?
To get it covered, but then once you pass it for first passage, I have to put it in the paper.
Oh, well, that's right, so it would be second passage anyway. It would be second passage in September anyway, at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take back my remarks.
And I guess I would ask the council for for a suspension of rules to allow me to bring this before us, and then if somebody does complain about a handicap space, then so be it. So moved.
Counselor Lovely?
I fully understand what the council's trying to do, especially in a short season. However, these things happen. It's happened in the past where something doesn't make the agenda. I don't think that we can just waive an ordinance, a sunshine ordinance. I understand you want to get it done, but I'm not comfortable with doing that. Not because I don't want to have you accomplish what you need to accomplish, but I don't think we have the power to, waive an ordinance away.
We could probably use it as a late file, and that way if you have, and it'll go to committee, and then if you have a meeting, it'll come out. Unfortunately.
Still needs two passages.
Can we move for a 1-minute break? Just a 1-minute break?
Sure.
Madam President, can I
Yes,
move
sir.
for a 1-minute break so the
Yeah.
powers that be can discuss this, and then we can come back to
Thank you.
session?
Okay, thank you.
We have a solution.
Thank you, Madam President. So we managed to figure that out. Just for anybody who's watching, we will be submitting this. I'll be submitting the one that needs to be changed as a late file. The body will be meeting at some point in the next few weeks to take care of some election business. So we will put it in, there for first passage at that point, hopefully. So I'll submit the one that I have here as a late file when we finish the motions, orders, and resolutions. So proceed with the one that I have. The first one. City of Salem, year 2017, ordinance to repeal an ordinance relative to traffic. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Repeal Wisteria Street in front of 18 Wisteria Street for a distance of 20 feet. Handicap parking only tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. Really briefly, because we've talked about this too long already, this is going to be to handle a resident who has moved from one section of Ward 5 to another.
Any further discussion on Councilor Terrio's motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, year 2017, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 49, obedience to isolated stop signs. Laurel Street, east and westbound traffic, stop at Linden Street, stop signs. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And I move for adoption for first passage.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is at the corner about a block away from my house where Linden and Laurel intersect. There is a stop sign farther down at the intersection of Laurel and Hazel, but over here they tend to, people tend to use that as a cut-through road, and there are visibility problems getting onto it from Linden Street. The residents around there have been looking to get a stop sign done for some time, and I worked this through the appropriate channels, and they agreed that it's appropriate.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none? Oh, Councilor Dibble.
Thank you, Madam President. If I could just ask through you, if I can ask the Ward 5 Council just to confirm, I lived right there for over a decade at that intersection in my previous, before I was married, and actually when I was married. But for years and years, and I apologize to the Ward 5 Council, I did not drive through that intersection, but along Linden Street, there was a stop sign on the intersection of Laurel in both ways years ago. So I'm wondering, on Linden Street, yes, at number 12 and number 15, diagonally across from each other. And I'm wondering if we're now making that a four-way intersection, a four-way stop, rather.
We are.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none on Councilor Terrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Girai.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, July 20th, 2017, ordered that the monthly financial report dated June 30th, 2017 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion?
No discussion. I move for adoption.
For adoption? Okay. Now under discussion, no discussion. Any further discussion? No on Councilor Girard's motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Councilor Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, year 2017, ordinance to amend ordinance relative to traffic. Section 1, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking limited time. Naples Road in front of number 14 Naples Road for a distance of 20 feet. Handicap parking only is tow zone. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter. And
that's all
I move that this be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Okay, it's a late file, no discussion. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Committee reports. Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. City Council, July 20, 2017, Committee on Ordinance and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and recommend approval. Salem Swampscott Youth Hockey and Salem High School Basketball.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
No discussion, they're just tag days.
On Councilor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further committee reports. Councilor Ryan.
Committee on Ordinance, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of amending an ordinance relative to prohibiting dogs in historic cemeteries, has considered said matter and would recommend that the attached ordinance be adopted for first passage. And if you'd like, I can read the ordinance.
Waive the reading.
It's not that long.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, Councilor Ryan, under discussion?
Our discussion last week, we had a meeting, and we had the cemetery commission was there, and we talked about, I believe there's 5 cemeteries in the city of Salem. This only includes the 4. Green Lawn is not included in this one. It's just to stop dogs from going into these cemeteries. There's no walking paths and stuff. So we had some discussion, and we decided that it looked good. So.
Okay. Any further? Councilor Fumiko?
Yeah, I would just like to ask as part of this that the Department of Public Services work with our planning department so that we have some signage with these rules that kind of tags in nicely to all the work that's been being done on all the cemeteries, so we don't have italicized metal signs on the outside of them.
Okay. Any further discussion? Counselor Lovely.
Just a question through you to the chairperson. I wasn't able to make the meeting. Why is it the Assistant Director of Public Services? Sort of deputized, so to speak.
I don't know why we put the assistant. It's normally the police would be enforcing that.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why it was assistant. I did notice that.
I certainly feel comfortable with the whoever's in charge of the cemeteries having the say, but perhaps it should be Director of Public Services. But I'll vote for first passage. If we need to amend, I'll find out and get that answer. Thank you.
Counselor McCarthy, Counselor Girai.
I guess in not wanting to advertise this more than we have to, I guess my friend, if the objection is to the Assistant Director of Public Services, you could just simply make it the Director of Public Services or his designee. And that would just cover the whole thing. Because that would just make it clean, if that's the case.
Counselor Girai, Counselor Famico.
Thank you, Madam President. I was not able to be at the meeting, but I think the reason why the Assistant Director of Public Services would be here rather than the DPW Director is because Sean McCrae, he does oversee the cemetery, so and he is the one who represents the city at the Cemetery Commission meeting, so I'm thinking that's probably where the discussion probably went and how it came about that it was assigned to him. That would make sense. Was it the Cemetery Commission members that recommended him, or?
I don't even think, Madam Chair, I don't think we even discussed it. I think if someone's got a dog in the cemetery, they're gonna call the police. I think that as long as the police do it, why does the other person need to be there or not? We didn't discuss that. I don't know why.
We actually did discuss it in the meeting. The city solicitor at that time said that the assistant director has jurisdiction over that. I was just trying to pull up the ordinance now to see if it's part of our ordinance for the assistant director, but she had spoken about the reason why it was him on there, and if he could have authoritative rights for that. And if he's the one that's taking care of the cemeteries and overseeing it, and if he's out there, someone's mowing it, chances are, he's there in the day-to-day.
Counselor Epley?
I don't think it would hurt to make it the director, and the reason why I say that is that that's just one more person that could be an enforcer. That could include certainly the assistant director, but it would be any other designee of the Director of Public Services. So I would move to amend, just move to strike assistant and call it a day.
Okay. Any other discussion about the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Counselor Epley's motion carries. Is there any more discussion on the actual ordinance as amended? No? Okay. Counselor
Wondering why it couldn't be both, Madam President. Within our city ordinance is a specific title for director and then a specific for assistant director.
If you make the director in charge, the assistant director is one of his designees, so it falls into place. So then we're all in line.
Okay. Counselor Dibble?
Thank you, Madam President. Having sat through the committee meetings on this, I'm in agreement. I thought the motion was to simply strike the word assistant and make it the director or his designee. That's what we just voted on, then that covers everybody.
Exactly.
Or his or her.
adoption.
Or his or her.
Bingo.
It's in there.
Yes.
Thank you.
So now we're voting on the amendment, the ordinance as amended
Adoption, first passage.
for first passage. Okay, so are we good on what we're voting for? Striking assistant director and replacing it with director or his or her designee?
Correct.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further committee reports. Counselor Ryan.
Committee on Ordinance, Vice Legal Affairs referred the matter of creating an ordinance relative to the treatment and rights of domesticated animals in Salem, has considered said matter and would recommend that the attached order to create a working group be adopted.
Waive the reading.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed on adoption of the recommendation? Under discussion?
We had Councilor Legault was in here, and he had done some research about an ordinance. Yeah, where was it? Albuquerque, New Mexico. And there was a lot to it, and a lot of stuff that didn't really apply, so we decided to do a working group made up of a city councilor designated by the president, city solicitor, police chief, or his or her designee, Councilor Legault, Laura Stratopoulos, and one other member of the Salem Saves Animals, and a veterinarian, animal trainer, individual whose work focused on the care of animals. So we just have that group work on creating an ordinance for the Salem, and then coming back, and then we'll submit it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Council Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem in City Council, July 20th, 2017, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a $20,000 appropriation from fund balance reserved for appropriation of free cash to the Council on Aging accounts as follows: $17,000 to Council on Aging full-time salaries and $3,000 to Council on Aging vehicle parts and accessories, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. We had a really good discussion. We had Trish O'Brien, the Park and Rec Director, as well as Meredith McDonald, the Council on Aging Director, to discuss the need for this, and this is coinciding with the grant that we just received from Tufts. And they're looking at improving the routes and the utilization of the Council on Aging van. They have been focused on looking at areas where they need more outreach for the van, particularly they noticed North Salem, so very happy that there's going to be more routes going out to North Salem, so they're looking at timing, they're looking at increasing the services, and something interesting that came up in their discussions about this that they were sharing with the committee is that where there are a lot of grandparents that take care of their grandchildren, they're not going to, they're going to allow the grandchildren to get on the van with the grandparents as well, and so they're going to be hitting major spots around town, and they're trying to get out to areas that aren't as well served, and then areas that already are served, so they use Salem Willows, for example, that the ferry, not the ferry, the trolley already goes down there, so they're not necessarily going to focus on Salem Willows, and there was a discussion, and I believe it was Councilor Fury that brought up this, about partnering, I think it might have been Councilor Dibble that brought up with partnering with Salem State, and Trish and Meredith were very much in favor of that, and getting the seniors out to more of the events around town, so we all strongly were in favor of this.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, July 20th, 2017, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of a $20,392 appropriation within the capital outlay renovation and repair account to be expended for the repairs of electrical system in the pump house at Old Salem Greens by the Recreation Department, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This was a continuation of our discussion. We had, again, Trish O'Brien, the Park and Rec Director, and we also had Paul Lever, who is the superintendent of the golf course, who explained the limitations that they have right now with the pump house, that the pipes in there go back to 1970. Wow. And the water, they can't handle all of the water that is coming in, and so what they want to do is get an improved system that is going to help it significantly and allow them to irrigate the Old Salem Greens better, and as several of us discussed, that whenever we do go up to Old Salem Greens, that we have a fantastic time there because it is such a beautiful course, because it is so well maintained. So we wanted to continue to support the maintenance, and we supported the appropriation for the pump house.
Any further discussion? Councilor Fury.
Madam President, we're blessed to have the Old Salem Greens, the premier professional facility to golf in all generations. Even Salem High School golf team golfs up there. It's a wonderful place for all of us, and we're very lucky for a small city, 8 square miles, to have our own golf course. Very lucky. Great investment. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The matter carries. Communications from city officials, none. Petitions.
We have a petition from National Grid to install conduits near 76 Lafayette Street to bring secondary service for cell antenna on street light pole 6150.
Hearing ordered September 14th, 2017. Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of English Street to hold a block party on August 6, 2017, from 1 to 7 p.m. with a rain date of August 13th.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counsellor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Orchard Street to hold a block party between Dearborn and Franklin Streets on September 23rd, 2017, from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Counsellor Giroux.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be approved.
Under discussion?
Thank you. Just briefly, this is a block party that the residents of Orchard Street have had for a number of years, and it's a really good time. And I know we'll have our new fire truck that we just got last year, we'll have them come down as well for the kids, and it's a good time.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counsellor Giroux's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Further petitions.
We have a request.
Sorry, go ahead.
We have a request from the residents of Peabody Street to hold a block party on September 30th, 2017, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. These times include the setup and the breakdown.
Counsellor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This is a block party that's going to be hosted by the North Shore CDC. They've been working with the neighbors and the businesses down there to come up with a date. The time frame seems long, but it's for setup and breakdown, but they've worked out all the details, and I move for approval.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on the Counsellor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from BNS to change the date for the YMCA Witch City Triathlon, originally approved by City Council for August 12th at 8 a.m. to September 2nd, 2017 at 9 a.m. and the use of city streets.
Counsellor Turian.
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be granted.
Under discussion?
Very briefly, Madam President, this change is due to consultations with the Salem Harbor Master and issues with the tides at that point and at the original scheduled time. It wouldn't have allowed for a safe race, so this was the first available date that was on a weekend and had appropriate timing that could let the race be done in a relatively low traffic time.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counsellor Turian's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? That carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from Salem YMCA to hold a 5K road race and use of city streets on September 10th, 2017 at 9 a.m.
Counsellor McCarthy.
8:30 and order. Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval.
Under discussion?
The YMCA is going to bring forth a race. It's listed as a 5K, but it seems to be a 10K if I read it correctly. So it's not quite correct in there. And the interesting note is from BNS, who seems to be working with the YMCA on this. BNS says in their application, says that notices will be placed in mailboxes of homes directly affected by the athletes. I'll be very curious to see if BNS, as in a bunch of their petitions, will be notifying all residents directly by drops in the mailbox, as they have stated on their application, because it's a 10K race, and even if they loop twice, that's 5K of homes that are directly affected, that they said, please explain the plan for notification of residents of street closures. Notices will be placed in mailboxes of homes directly affected by athletes. So I'll be curious to see, because as we all know, road races, we could argue about road races, pros and cons, but the fact of the matter is, the city takes it upon themselves to have to put out code reds and the reverse 911 calls, and we all know that once you start inundating the neighbors with those types of calls, the first thing they do is hit click. No one pays attention to them because we get inundated with so many of them, and that's been the pushback. They've stated they're going to notify all the residents. I want to know and see how they're planning on doing that, because as we all know, well, some of you I may know more than others, I'm the one who gets the phone calls when all of a sudden you've got athletes who decided that because the race starts near someone's home, they're all going to stop parking their cars there and blocking people's driveways. So I'm very curious to see how BNS plans to handle this, and I don't want to single BNS out, but they fill out the application, and they've done it, and I'm just going to be curious to see if they follow through and notify everyone of their plans, but I move for approval.
Counselor D'Amico.
Thank you. Just to see, make sure that they notify the church as well, because although it starts at 283, we have Immaculate Conception that's kind of diagonally across the way, and they have a 9 a.m. mass. Just so that way the church knows and that they can let their parishioners know the week prior as well.
Any further discussion? Counselor Lovely.
Just as all of you know, can't put anything in a mailbox, so they should be aware of that as well.
What's that?
Can't place anything in a mailbox.
Yes, technically, that is, the good Ward 3 council is 100% correct. Even though all of us who campaign, technically, you're not supposed to leave it in the mailbox, that's why we always leave it in the door or whatever. So technically, as soon as you put the mailbox on your house, that becomes property of the Postal Service. That's for them to communicate mail with you, so technically that is correct. So I don't know what method they're planning on doing it, but they have said they are going to notify everybody in writing, so I'll be curious to see how they're planning on following through on that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none? On Counselor McCarthy's motion?
Please.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Madam Chair. Further petitions.
We have a request from BNS to hold a road race, the Wicked Half Marathon, and use of city streets on September 16, 2017 at 7 a.m.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for approval.
Under discussion?
Same stipulation. They've indicated on their form that they're planning to notify the residents, so I just got to make sure that they follow through on that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none? On Counselor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Madam carries. Further petitions.
We have a request from BNS to hold a road race, the Devil's Chase, and use of city streets on October 28, 2017 at 7 a.m.
Thank you, Madam President. Move for approval.
Under
I've already said
discussion?
enough about it, so we just move for approval. They're bringing in a series of their road races. I'm going to make sure they follow through with what they promised.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none? On Counselor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Madam carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications.
Counselor Ryan.
Move granted.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Further discussion? Seeing none on Counselor Ryan's motion, all those in favor, all those opposed? Madam carries. Further petitions.
We have license applications for Seaworms and Tag Day.
Counselor Ryan.
Move referred to the Committee on Legislative and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Counselor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Madam carries. Further petitions.
We have 2 claims.
Counselor Ryan?
Move referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Counselor Ryan's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Madam carries. Further petitions.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, a petition from Peter and Barbara Maitland for an amendment to Salem zoning ordinance relative to principal uses of Section 3.0, use regulations of land for the primary purpose of agriculture, horticulture, floriculture, or viticulture on a parcel of more than 5 acres in area, amend by deleting the word 5 and insert in place thereof the word 2.
Counselor Ryan?
Move referred to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of Whole.
This is a late file, no discussion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Section 9.5.2, applicability, Section 9.5.3, application, and 9.5.6.
Counselor Ryan?
I move
It's
for
actually
second,
not 9.
second and final passage by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
I don't have any discussion, buddy.
No discussion? Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turrio.
Yes.
Counselor Sargent.
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
Yes.
Counselor Lovely.
Yes.
Counselor Gerard.
Yes.
Counselor Fury.
Yes.
Counselor Famiko.
Yes.
Counselor Epley.
Yes.
Counselor Dibble.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of second passage for an ordinance amending zoning, Section 9.5.3 application, Section 9.5.6 review criteria, 11 council voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, the matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending zoning. Parcels currently zoned B1 Business Neighborhood are rezoned to R2 Residential 2-Family, 15 Green Street, 72 Leach Street, 76 Leach Street, 80 Leach Street, 2 Glover Street, 4 Glover Street, and 6 Glover Street.
Counselor Ryan.
Move for second and final passage by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
On Counselor Ryan's motion, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Turrio.
Yes.
Counselor Sargent.
Yes.
Counselor Ryan.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy.
Yes.
Counselor Lovely.
Yes.
Counselor Gerard.
Yes.
Counselor Fury.
Yes.
Counselor Famiko.
Yes.
Counselor Epley.
Yes.
Counselor Dibble.
Yes.
Counselor Milo.
Yes. Thank you. On the matter of second passage of the ordinance amending zoning for parcel zone B1, rezoned to R2, we have 11 councilors voting, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time in front of number 2 Devereaux Street.
Counselor Gerard.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
On Counselor Gerard's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 74, general prohibition tow zone, Jefferson Avenue.
Counselor Lovely.
Move second and final passage.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Counselor Lovely's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 75, resident sticker parking, Hawthorne Boulevard.
Counselor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for second and final passage.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
On Counselor McCarthy's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matter carries. Before we adjourn, I'd like the opportunity for a point of personal privilege. Counselor Fury, if you will.
Yes, please. Council Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier this evening, we recognized Sarah Stanton and thanked her for her service as she leaves to the city of Cambridge. We did briefly mention another Salem employee, Harry Wagg, who recently passed away, and I would ask that we all rise and have a moment of silence for Harry, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to his family.
Very thoughtful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Counselor Fury.
Motion to adjourn, Madam President?
We're adjourned.